right, here we go. We're back for the, well, it's a Wednesday Coach's Corner. Typically we're doing Sunday Coach's Corner. We've been off for a couple weeks. Been really focused hard to make sure that we're continue to be set up for success on Thursday and Friday night. So we've been coaching our tails off, haven't been thinking too much about the Coach's Show. But while we've been away for 2 weeks, our junior varsity team has been out there absolutely dominating on the field on Thursday nights. And we are totally proud of that next class of champions. And we haven't yet to do a Coach's Show where we focus 100% on the JV. And they deserve it. Number one, they work hard. They've earned it. So today we're like, let's. They actually got a game tomorrow playing Melbourne Central Catholic tomorrow at 6:30 at MCC. So we knew that they'd have a shorter practice today. Let's take some time and talk about our great junior varsity program, and not only to the coaches but also to some of our players too. So we have a couple of our junior varsity coaches here with us today. And we just want them to kind of share some of the awesome things that are going on, not just on the field, but off the field too, and in practice. So we have our head coach, Tim Tucker, here today. Hey. Coach, say hi to the fans. There's tons of them.
How y'all doing, guys? Hey, it's great to be in Scorp Nation this year. I mean,
Scorp Nation's strong.
Scorp Nation is strong this year. I'm telling you what, I'm just so blessed to even be up here and talking to y'all. Just thank you for your support every day, though, really.
Yeah, I think we got like 5 people that watch the show, so it's good.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. We got like 200 views.
Right.
By the way, I do have to shout out Beef O Brady's. Obviously Kim and the staff here and everything that they do for us. They've always been very supportive of the Satellite football team and Satellite High School in general. And make sure that you get a chance to, when you get a chance to stop by Beef O Brady's here in Satellite Beach and tell them Satellite football sent you. So thank you for them for hosting us today. So, Coach, why don't you talk about some of the great things that you've seen from your team? And we also have, before we get on to that, we have Coach Malkin here, the defensive coordinator, and he's going to be talking a lot about the defense. But we'll start with Coach Tucker. And Coach, talk about some of the great things that you've seen, from intangibly, the stuff that maybe the parents and the fans don't get to see necessarily on the field all the time. What are some of the great things that you see just in the day in, day out grind of
well, yeah, day in and day out. I mean, first off, we got a great coaching staff. Coach Kagan, he's offensive coordinator. I call him Dr. Doom because he is a doctor for one, but actually he brings down the doom anytime we go out on the field. But we practice, and he's a perfectionist, and I like that way. We have a standard, and we teach all of our players this is a standard. We don't come down to it, we go above it. So every day at practice, the energy and the method of learning is there. They're just absorbing all of the information. Coach Kagan, he's throwing a lot of offensive stuff at them every day, and we don't back down. The old saying, feed them with a fire hose. Well, these guys are definitely drinking with, and they're getting pretty much all of it, and it's showing on the field. Our games, last game against Space Coast, we got off tilt a little bit, but then we come right back at them. And that's one thing about these guys who are on the junior varsity, they don't quit. Yeah. They never quit, all the way down. And we came back, we got the victory, and that was, 1-0. That's what we always study, 1-0. So, the special teams guys, we basically do pretty much the same special teams as the varsity does. Our whole program is always built around, our family and what we do. So pretty much the special teams, we get off the ball. We actually almost got a couple of blocks. We got a couple of good run backs. We actually had a great tackle, almost recovered a kickoff. One of our players, though, he did end up breaking his arm. That's how hard we play, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way we roll. We go, wholeheartely every play, every day. Yeah. So what the parents, a lot of them don't see day to day. The culture, the leadership, and as well as for our players, the mentorship. The players step up. They take care of each other. One of our sayings I try to get them to do is that you can smack down on one of your partners out there, but then you pick him up. Because we are all about we don't do, and that is our saying. We do not do what others do because we're uncommon.
That's right. I will tell you, just from an outsider's perspective, and I know I oversee all of it, but you know, I'm not necessarily there day in and day out to see the, you know, that daily grind of the junior varsity, but you know, and I watch it from afar. But when I'm there on the sidelines on Thursday nights, man, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Intensity.
And just kids having fun playing football, but on top of that, just physical, not afraid to come up and hit you, and not afraid to, you know, take you know, some aggressive shots on offense either.
I can attribute a lot of that to Coach Malkin here. He definitely, that is his intent, and that is nothing less than, if you don't want to hit, then you're going to get hit. So what's the saying?
Yeah, if you don't want to hit, go play offense.
So what's the saying? I guess if you're not the hammer,
you're the nail.
You're the nail.
That's right. Are you the hammer or the nail? We actually, you know, I don't know what it is, but even one of our receivers today, he went to play scout defense for a couple reps, and we threw a pass, and he could have picked it up, but he dropped it. I guess he just, when you go to defense, you automatically lose. You're catching. Your Madden rating goes down, and although I will say your how many interceptions do you have on defense? I don't think you guys don't have trouble catching the ball.
10 turnovers.
10 turnovers.
It's 7 first game, 3 the last game.
Two games, 10 turnovers. That's got to be some kind of a record.
Swarming to the ball. That's all it is. Swarming to the ball.
So talk a little bit about the identity of the defense and just kind of your mentality when you're coaching out there, and you know, kind of what you've seen from those kids, you know, on Thursday nights.
We try to run the same defense that the varsity runs. That way, when they do progress, they're ready for it.
Right.
But basically, it's 100% all the time. So if you think you're out of the play, you're never out of the play.
That's right.
You go 100%, and that's how we can get a lot of turnovers.
Right.
You know, backside, back thinks he's got it, and the DN comes out nowhere and smacks it out. So as long as we go 100%, we're going to make a lot of tackles, and we're going to do really well.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's been low scoring. I think when you've given up 7 points. I mean, you know, Bayside scored 10, but you know, we had a safety, and we also had you know, that was I forget how they scored, but it wasn't defense.
No, it was lateral.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was a fumble or whatever. But and then even, you know, and then Space Coach gave up 7, but it was after, what was it, a block punt?
Block punt.
They were on like the 3-yard line or
12-yard line, and then we had them 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have the right package in there in time. And
I mean, I see what Coach is doing here. He's building around his defense. He's got a great DC,
they win championships,
great players, and they're out there they're doing awesome. So, talk about some of the guys that you've seen stand out from the offensive side of the ball. Some of the players that have stood out to you.
Well, you know, one of the players, and we have him here today, Braden Green. I could call him Spider-Man, Octopus, whatever, because he throw anything at him.
I've heard that one. I like that.
Yeah,
pterodactyl.
Yeah, pterodactyl. That's right. You know, anything you throw at him, he's catching. Talking about one of our outside receivers, Braden Green. You know, he can catch, in my opinion, anything you throw at him. And we're talking run after the catch. That's very important. You know. Run after the catch is paramount, because sometimes they don't expect it and he's gone. He's already scored a couple of touchdowns this year. Run after the catch. So another one is, you know, a running back, Garrett. He just, I mean, he's going to hurt somebody really bad someday because he runs over him so hard.
Garrett
Yep. And he's a linebacker.
He runs like a linebacker.
Yeah, he does. So
he's
looking for contact.
You know, he's one of those guys that just, you know, he has no fear. And Lord help you if you get in front of him.
Yeah.
So again, and Bobby Clark. You know, Bobby Clark, he's one of those kids that will go 100% as well.
Right.
Every play.
Whatever he got, some of the O-line. How about the big boys up front?
Yeah.
Can't forget about the big boys.
Hey, you know what? We call them elephants on parade. Because, hey, elephants on parade, these guys, they protect Jaden Rittenhouse all day long, and they're doing their job. You know, I have no issues. Our offensive line, these guys, you know, they picked up. This is the thing about the junior varsity a lot of people don't understand, that it's a developmental program. But under the developmental program, these kids are expected not to know so much by the end of the year. These guys know probably as much as the varsity does right now.
40-something plays in.
Yeah, they're already 40-something plays in. We can run pretty much any screen play, any pulling play, any counter play. Our offensive line will take somebody out.
Who are some players on the offensive line?
Well, I look at Logan Ivy. he sometimes plays both ways, but yeah, he definitely is killing on the tackle position. I don't even have to worry about anybody coming around on his outside end. Phil Brown, yeah, he definitely, don't make him too mad, because then he's gonna definitely break somebody in half. Yeah, pancake. So, yeah, those two guys right there on that right side. Yeah, Kieran, no bad snaps. He's a great center. Yeah, Kieran Harrison.
2 games, no bad snaps.
None. And he's
consistent, reliable.
He is consistent, reliable. So, you know, on the O-line, we got some changes up. You know, we had a couple of O-lines go up to the varsity. We have to put some, guys back in. That's okay, because we got depth.
And one thing for fans and everybody watching, you know, when you watch the game, you know, understand when you start out in the season, the offense is always going to be a little bit behind the defense, because it just takes a little bit longer to learn the system and to learn the rules and assignments. So, you know, the defense has obviously been totally dominant, but, you know, pretty soon here the offense is going to start clicking on full cylinder, and now you're going to have that complete package where you're going to start burying teams. Not only it's no longer going to be, after the last game I called them the cardiac kids, because it's been like this close game for the last 2 games, and I you know, we're ready tomorrow for MCC.
Yeah.
Let's have a full complete game for 4 quarters, start to finish, and let's not make it close.
Yeah.
You know, let's not make it close tomorrow.
Please.
You know, so
Might have
and I think the offense is finally finding the rhythm, and they're getting there. And then how about special teams? Who are some players that stand out in your mind? Special teams, and then we'll move on to defense.
Well, I got Ethan Wells. Ethan Wells is a returner. I mean, he is, I guess, respectfully, one of the fastest guys on the team. When he gets the ball, hey, you know, between him and Braden Green as a returner, you know, the other teams, they don't know really what they're getting into on the kick return. On the kickoff, you know, we got, I would say pretty much we kind of readjusted our kickoff team a little bit, but every one of them, like I said, one of our players broke his arm last week on kickoff because he's playing so hard.
They're fighting hard.
Yeah, they're fighting hard. They go down, they try to get the tackle, they go to the ball. So, you know, overall, I try to say I don't look at individually. I look at it as a team working together. You know, offensively, you know, we are starting to click on all cylinders, and Coach Gagan's trying to figure out who is number 1 to number 6 cylinder. You know, same thing on the special teams when we are on kick return. You know, we got our front line. These guys are doing things that you wouldn't expect for a junior varsity freshman players at that, mostly.
Right, mostly freshmen.
Mostly freshmen.
And that's the other exciting thing about this JV team. I mean, this is one of the biggest classes of freshmen to come through, at least in the last 10 years. And they're just a group. They're a group that knows each other. They've played football together for a while, and they care about each other. And that means so much, because, you know, as much as football is about the X's and O's, it's a lot about, you know, who can I trust and who can I lean on? And these guys know each other, so they know the guys that they can count on in the hardest of moments, because, you know, football can get extremely tough. So let's talk about the toughness of this team, which is really the defense.
Bring it out,
man,
Coach.
we got to bring that.
Kick it out of the ball. Ready?
I don't know. We got to bring weapons in the beef.
And we had to hide it in a trench coat.
Dude, this thing is. I think this might be the sole reason they've had 10 turnovers. This is the Warhammer. They call it the Warhammer. I'll bring it up. Mark, you talk about it.
Well,
all right. Also, make sure they can see.
We had a motto at the beginning of the year: either you're the hammer or you're the nail.
Satellite football Warhammer.
So I was thinking what we could make.
The scorpion engraved on the hammer. And those are some of the guys already. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, some of the guys that has turnovers in the first game. We're going to get our names engraved as they get turnovers.
Yeah.
A lot of parents probably say, "What are they doing with that sledgehammer?"
Yeah, why they got that sledgehammer?
Take that away from my son, please. You can't have that. But it's kind of our symbol on defense. We bring it with us to each game. We get a turnover, you get a picture with it, and
goes up on social
goes
media.
up on social
goes
media.
up on the Satellite Football Twitter
So,
page. You can find that at Scorp Football on Twitter, and we post it every Thursday. But we talked about it, and I love the idea about the hammer nail concept. That we're never going to be the nail, we're always going to be the hammer. And on top of that, I think it's great because this is a keepsake. You know, we're going to put this in our trophy case at the end of the year, and it's something we'll keep doing year in and year out for each of these classes. So that every year they can come back and look at the hammer and they can see their name on there and just keep it as a memory. So awesome idea, and it's just been really a kind of a spark plug. got the sidelines exciting, you know, and it keeps defense exciting because I want to go get the hammer. I want to take the picture.
And they
with
look
the
forward
hammer.
to it. A lot of kids look forward to it. So.
Yeah, because all the other teams you see out there right now, you know, the U's got theirs and the dog.
Everybody's got the chain.
Everybody got the chain. Everybody's got the
trash
belt,
can.
you know, and whatever.
Tennessee had a trash can.
Somebody had an axe. I think.
There's an axe. There's a turnover everything.
Yeah.
Turnover. Boise State had a turnover throne. Like the Game of Thrones. They sacked the throne if they got the turnover. So I like this. This is good for defense. How about some players that have stood out to you, or just the defense in general that you've seen this year?
I think our DNs, Valen, done great. Kieran, I'm sorry, who's our other? Travari Brown's done great.
Travari Brown and Valen Viglia.
Yeah, I mean, those two have really held it down for us, forcing everything back inside, letting our linebackers clean up.
That's right.
Before we lacked speed a little bit out there, and with those two, there's no lack of speed.
They're doing great.
So no more jet sweeps on us, no more toss and watch them go around the corner.
I know.
They're just not getting those anymore.
And you know, they're funneling back into, you know, you got some good, you know, Jake Palmer's doing well at Mike linebacker, and you got kind of a couple tank tackles that are.
We got McWilliams and Big Mac in the middle.
Big Mac
and Nick.
And Nick Howard. Right. Yeah.
So they're just eating everything.
Tanks is right.
I told them they don't have to move much. I said, you just stay where you're at. They're all going to get funneled to you.
Once they heard that, they're like, I'm all in, coach. I don't have to move much. All right.
So,
and then some of your outside linebackers.
We got Bobby Clark out there, and now we have Zion.
Zion Cataldo.
The last game absolutely tore him up.
Yeah, he said he wanted to hit some people and give him an opportunity. He did.
Right. And to be honest with you, your secondary has been great too.
Oh,
I mean,
that's where our turnovers are coming from. I think we had 1 or 2 fumbles, all the rest of it interceptions.
Right.
So last game we had Ryan
Ruby
had 2.
Yep.
And then Ethan's had 2 or 3 already this year.
Ethan Wales,
he's a safety. So they can't throw over the top of us, and they can't run around the corner. So if you can do those 2 things good, then you can stop a lot.
And then the Malkin boys, do they play on?
We have.
Do they play on the same side?
No, they don't, because they kill each other.
I was just saying they'd be arguing.
We tried that in baseball, and it didn't work out. One's a safety, and the other one's backup corner.
Yeah. One thing that I've noticed, especially with your secondary, well, I've noticed obviously, you know, the interceptions are great. There's no doubt. But what I've been impressed with is just their ability to tackle in space.
Yeah,
I mean, how many times have they somebody caught a hitch or even just a little flare route out of the backfield or something? And they're just one-on-one with a guy, and you got to close on it. You got to you know buzz your feet, and you got to make the tackle. And I don't see many arm tackles. I don't see many guys getting crossed up and you know getting put on YouTube or whatever. They're making the tackle in open space and getting these guys down. So that's a testament to your guys' coaching and all the stuff that we're doing at the junior varsity level. So anything else?
Well, I actually, Coach, I brought some of the players.
Yeah.
I want you to
we brought them.
Down. We brought the
players. The crew. We brought
the hammers.
We brought the hammers. Yeah. So we got 3 of them today that we're gonna interview. Who we got? Who we interviewing?
Oh, we got Ryan Ruby.
Okay, Ryan Ruby. We just talked about
turnover king. Right there.
Turnover king.
I think he's got 3 turnovers.
Yeah, the turnover.
Braden Green over there.
Braden. We just talked about him, the pterodactyl.
He's the
pterodactyl.
He's a nail.
He is a nail.
And then who else?
No, he's not a nail. And then we got Gage Malkin.
All right, great.
He basically is a safety and a quarterback.
Yep.
So.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're gonna bring in the players. We're gonna talk to them for a little bit, and then we'll basically be done and we'll close out. But coaches, thank you guys again. Tomorrow night, Thursday, 6:30 at MCC. Our JV team takes on the Melbourne Central Catholic Hustlers. Over there at MCC. So, and then next week we'll be at home. First JV game at home against MCC again. So it's a back-to-back week against MCC. So either they'll be, you know, hopefully next week they're dreading coming here. They're like, well, I don't want to play them again, right?
They might get a flat tire on the way here.
Yeah, the bus broke down. Yeah, not coming. All right. Well, thanks, coaches. Great job, and then we'll bring these guys in.
Thanks,
Coach.
All right.
Here I have the super, really the stars of the show. I mean, us coaches, we just go to practice. We hold the paper on the sidelines. We think we know what we're doing, and these guys are the guys that have to go do it. So you know, we're nothing without these players. And you know, the reason the JV team is currently undefeated is because you know guys like these guys here. So we have Braden Green, sophomore, wide receiver, defensive back, and returner. We have Ryan Berube, freshman, corner, and Logan Ivy, freshman, offensive line, defensive lineman, here to kind of just talk about this season and give me some of their thoughts on what they've seen so far from this team and then kind of what they're looking forward to for the rest of the season. So, Brady, talk to me a little bit about kind of what you've seen from this team. What's the identity of this JV team?
Oh man, that's a hard question. We have a lot of chemistry.
What's it like to be a player on this team?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Everyone's always talking, having fun out there.
Good. Now, what are you looking forward to for tomorrow, for Thursday, for FCC?
To blow them out.
Oh my gosh! Wow, guaranteed style. Like this is all right. I like it. And then some of the things. What's been one of your favorite memories so far from this season that stands out to you?
The win against Bayside, because our defense got put up at the end of the game at like the 20-yard line and came through for us.
Yeah, and what Braden's talking about. Look, he didn't say, "Oh, that touchdown I had," or this or that. Look, he's talking about the team, and that's just a testament to the type of kids that we have and the type of person that he is. So, and I totally agree. I'm excited to maybe go see that blowout tomorrow. All right. I'm looking forward to it. So we also have Ryan here, Ryan Berube. He's again a freshman corner. What's your favorite part about playing on this defense?
My favorite part is how we all work together. When in game time, we all just click and get in that mode, and we're ready to play.
Yeah, I think who's the safety that you play next to?
Jake Jacoby or Ethan Wills.
Yeah, you guys do a great job communicating.
Yeah, we know how to switch. So.
Yeah, and it's so important, safety and corner, that you know where your help is and you work and communicate. You almost got to be on the same page the whole game. You got to be in the same mindset. And that's led to a lot of turnovers for you, hasn't it?
Yes.
How many interceptions you got now?
The first game I had 1, and then the second game I had 2.
Awesome. So he's got 3 already. He's kind of part of that Legion of Boom out there, the land sharks. We're going to have to start calling you guys in the secondary. But and then what's been one of your favorite memories for the team so far that stands out?
It was the end of the game, and I caught the interception, and then it did not give the Space Coast offense the ball, and then so our offense was able to just run the clock out.
Yeah, and that was awesome. And we were like, we they were kind of like similar to Bayside. They kind of were at a almost half or past the 50-yard line. They had a decent chance to go score and to tie the game up, and our defense held them, or we were able to run out the clock. So totally agree with Ryan on that one. Now we're going to move to the big boy over here, Logan Ivy, holding it down on the O-line and the D-line. He's been just an absolute monster for us on both sides of the ball. What's your favorite part about being on the line, offensive line or defensive line?
It's just like going against the same opponent every play and just beating them off the ball every time and just driving them.
Just hand-to-hand combat, right? It's like man-on-man in the ring. Who's the bigger man, right? I'm with you. I played line my whole life, so I totally feel you on that one. And then what's something that stood out memory-wise, or something that's really that you loved about this season so far?
This season so far, like you said, like mostly freshmen. Like our whole line is pretty much freshmen. So I like how like everyone's learning together and like developing and like getting better by the day and like by the game.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, and that's really the point of junior varsity football, is to keep developing. And these guys are making steps in the right direction every day. I totally agree with you on that. And to be honest with you, guys remind me a lot of our 2018 class that just graduated, and because they had all played football together, they knew each other, they liked each other, and their JV team was very similar to this one. And you saw how they finished last year, finishing 8-2, and really having a historic year. And I look for the next 2 or 3 years, you guys to be in that same boat as juniors and as seniors, to be kind of setting that tone and making that history again for our program. How about now? What are you looking forward to tomorrow night? What's something that you would like to do tomorrow for the team or for yourself?
I'm looking forward to the screenplays. I love the screenplays.
Getting out in space, baby,
Getting
right?
out and hitting the little guys.
Yeah. Those little guys don't want to see the big guys coming. You got to juke it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just looking for like I said, more development in the line to see, like, because we had some people go up to varsity, so more people are stepping up.
Right.
So we're like seeing how they're developing and like learning.
Absolutely, I agree. So again, you can see the type of kids that we have here, man. These guys are just high character, team first guys. They're not sitting here me. They're all talking about the team, and that's just a testament to our coaching staff and to these guys as players. Looking forward to a great game tomorrow. Apparently, it's going to be a blowout, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited to stay on the sidelines and watch our junior varsity team in action against the MCC Hustlers tomorrow night at 6:30. We'll see y'all there.